Good morning, I'm Madonna. I wanted to chat a little bit about oxalate toxicity and poisoning of our bodies by some foods that are particular superfoods at the moment. So in the last 30 years, I've been a naturopath and kinesiologist, nutritionist, dietitian, herbalist, and homeopath. And when I learned about oxalates when I was doing my biochemistry, basically the main thing that we were told was that oxalates can build up in some people's bodies and that your kidneys would excrete them. And in some cases, people actually build up kidney stones with calcium. So calcium, oxalic acid, kidney stones. Now, so for the last 30 years, if anyone ever comes in and tells me they're on a low oxalate diet, my first thing would be, okay, so you've had kidney stones. They say yes, and they've stayed on a low oxalate diet because, of course, if you've ever had kidney stones, you know that the pain is just horrific. Now, I've got a great old-fashioned treatment for kidney stones that uses asparagus and Coca-Cola, which is just phenomenal, works a treat, but of course it doesn't keep them away. About 10 years ago, I was at a seminar when they were talking about the microbiome. It was when all the microbiome stuff started coming out, talking about the different bacteria in the gut. And initially they thought we had hundreds of strains, and then they thought we had thousands of strains. So basically, the more we find out about the microbiome and that gut-brain connection, that gut-organ connection, the more we find out. So there are particular gut bacteria that sometimes with antibiotics, we've actually destroyed the microbiome. And then there's a particular bacteria whose job it is to sop up oxalic acid in the body, in theory. So once again, this has been my knowledge base increasing over the years. About 10 years ago, I started really looking into the whole MCAS thing, mast cell activation syndrome. So it's regularly in my muscle testing. So if I find that people have got histamine issues, say asthma and hay fever and itching, rashes, dermatitis, eczema, that sort of thing, or if they've been having reactions to certain medications, then sometimes with kinesiology, and I can check the immune system and ask the body, well, what's the body having an issue to? But oxalates has not been in my radar for things like that. So basically your white blood cells, they're the ones that go around gobbling up all sorts of stuff in your body, which is just awesome. But when we gobble up, food toxins, it wouldn't occur to most people that some of the foods we're eating are actually poisoning us, especially when they're in the healthy food groups. So foods that are high in oxalates are really interesting when you think about the vegan increase in vegan diets over the last few years, because I'm sure it's accidental, but many of these foods are high in oxalates, are high in the vegan diet. So things like almonds, almond milk, almond flour, things like dark chocolate. In fact, the darker the chocolate, the more oxalates chocolate has. Things like soy, so all the soybeans, soy oils, soy flour, so all of, any vegan products that are put together are often very, very high in these oxalate substances. Things like spinach and Swiss chard, so we're looking at a whole bunch of raspberries and blueberries. So we're looking at a whole bunch of things, and there's comprehensive lists out there. But again, because of the way that our society is working at the moment, there isn't much research going on with it because there's no money in it for the pharmaceutical company. Most research or supplement companies for that matter, because if you've got a high oxalate diet and you're causing yourself arthritis or osteoporosis or blepharitis with the gunk coming out of your eyes, or some sort of rash or dryness and dandruff, or cancers, lumps building up in your body, and it's from oxalates, what can they do? So it's not a supplement problem. So it's not like we're taking too many or not enough supplements. In fact, vitamin C is one of the things that can build up oxalic acid in the body. There's a whole biochemistry to that. So taking too much vitamin C can actually cause issues with building up your oxalates in your body. So that's a problem for lots of people. And once again, I've seen more and more crystals and gnarly stuff in people's life bloods over the last 4 years, I think, as people have really upped their vitamin C and things like that, trying to negate the effects of the spikes and stuff like that we know about. So maybe part of this equation is the vitamin C component. Interesting. So it's been a really fun learning curve for me. And I think it's going to be one of my big things. Next year, I'm starting a whole bunch of online training, and one of them is just $120 a year, and it's going to be 12 core areas of nutrition, and it'll be a minimum of 6 hours training online, and everything will be recorded, of course, so it can be listened to at any stage. But I'm now starting to, because MCAS was going to be one of my big trainings, because I love mast cell activation syndrome, and so many people have so many of the symptoms, everything from just dropping over, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, which again has gone up in the last few years, things like the hyperallergic, so people getting hyperallergic to life, hyperallergic to electromagnetic frequencies. But the oxalates is a really important part of the equation when it comes to the mast cell activation syndrome, because these oxalic acid crystals can build up throughout the body. We can see it in the live blood, but you can feel it. So it might be one of the things that's causing you pain, whether arthritis or chronic pain or tachycardia or neurotransmitters issue. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on with neurotransmitters as well with oxalates. So there's a book I bought this week that I don't have on me called Toxic Superfoods, was recommended by my good friend Linda Hoggart. And so she herself has been, switching to a low oxalate diet. She's been on a really healthy diet forever because she's had health issues forever. So it's just another part of the equation for a lot of people. So I'm going to put my training information below. Feel free to reach out to me via email, and I can get you on a mailing list so that as, dates and times and things kick in for 2024, you'll be there. Anyway, have a fantastic day. I shall also share the video that I watched that got me on this oxalate kickstart of information. Have a spectacular day. Bye, all.